Welcome to the Solimi Dreams channel. Gently turn off the lights in your room, slip on your headphones or set the volume just right and close your eyes. I hope sleep finds you peacefully, perhaps even before the story comes to an end. So now, without delay, let me softly begin tonight's story. Game over. Zach Thompson waited in line for hours at GameCore, his favorite game store in San Diego, eagerly anticipating the midnight launch of GTA 6. As an avid gamer, Zach had spent countless hours exploring virtual worlds, but nothing had ever excited him quite like this. The hype was unprecedented. Graphics promising ultra-realism, a sprawling city bigger than any open-world game before it, and rumors of revolutionary AI-driven storytelling that blurred reality and fiction. By the time Zach returned home, it was nearly 2 a.m. His apartment was dark and quiet. Eagerly, he tore open the packaging, inserted the disc into his PlayStation, and settled onto the sofa, controller in hand, excitement surging through his veins. The game's opening screen flickered to life, stunningly realistic visuals illuminating his dimly lit living room. The familiar logo appeared, pulsating gently before fading away into darkness, replaced by the sprawling cityscape of Los Venturas, an imaginary coastal metropolis shimmering with promise and danger. Welcome to GTA 6, a soothing female voice narrated, almost seductively. The city is yours. Choose wisely. Zach customized his avatar, choosing a rugged, streetwise male protagonist, and was quickly dropped into the bustling streets. The realism stunned him. Sunlight reflected off polished car windows. NPC pedestrians moved and conversed naturally, and everything felt organic, alive. He spent hours joyriding, completing missions, and exploring the city's vastness. But after several hours, Zach noticed odd glitches. Occasionally, pedestrians froze, their heads turning slowly to stare blankly at him. NPCs whispered indistinct phrases like sinister secrets. At first, he brushed it off as bugs typical of launch day releases. Yet, as dawn broke outside, Zach found himself in a secluded alleyway, searching for a mission marker that didn't appear. Instead, he stumbled upon graffiti on the brick wall, a message written in vivid red paint. Don't trust the game. His stomach twisted uncomfortably. This wasn't typical GTA humor. Curiously, Zach took a screenshot, intent on posting it online later. But as he pressed the button, the message blurred and changed before his eyes. I see you, Zach. His heart skipped. What the hell? He whispered, confused, slightly amused but unsettled. Probably an elaborate Easter egg, he reasoned. Yet, deep within, a subtle unease began gnawing at his nerves. Suddenly, a mission prompt flashed. Find the lost girl. Following directions on the mini-map, Zack drove to an isolated location near the edge of the city, a crumbling, abandoned hospital hidden behind rusted fences. As he stepped inside, the screen darkened slightly, audio crackling faintly. Shadows flickered in corners, creating eerie, unsettling realism. Inside the abandoned hospital, Zack navigated dimly lit corridors, the ambiance disturbingly detailed. Every creaking floorboard, every whispered echo seemed real, too real. Finally, he entered an empty ward. A solitary figure, a young woman, sat silently on an abandoned bed. "Are you lost?" Zack asked, amused at the lifelike interaction. She raised her head slowly, eyes hollow, voice trembling. "You shouldn't be here, Zack." Chills raced down his spine. How did she know his real name? "What?" he muttered aloud, anxiety rising. Suddenly, his PlayStation began humming violently, overheating inexplicably. The screen glitched, flickered, and then stabilized. The girl now stood inches from Zack's avatar, her eyes black voids. "You must stop playing. He's watching you," she whispered, distorted and unnatural. His heart hammered. He pressed the pause button frantically. Nothing happened. Panicking, Zack reached forward, trying to shut down the console manually, but the power button did nothing. On screen, the girl tilted her head, smiling grotesquely. "You can't escape now. You've seen too much." Suddenly, Zack's controller vibrated violently, almost painful in his hands. He dropped it, recoiling. Terrified, he watched helplessly as his avatar began moving on its own, the camera perspective shifting, now first person, disorienting and claustrophobic. His avatar raced through hallways he'd never explored, descending stairs into an underground area beneath the hospital. The walls morphed, becoming darker, more realistic, grotesquely detailed. The textures appeared fleshy, pulsating slightly. Suddenly, he emerged into a vast chamber, lit by flickering candles, revealing walls scrawled with disturbing symbols. At the center stood a figure cloaked in shadow, breathing rhythmically. "Hello, Zack," the figure spoke calmly, voice deep and impossibly clear. "Welcome. Who are you?" Zack demanded aloud, fear strangling his throat. The figure stepped forward. Zack's jaw dropped, horrified. It was himself, an exact virtual replica, perfect down to every blemish and freckle. "I'm you, or perhaps you're me. The lines blur here." The figure smiled wickedly. "You chose to enter my world willingly." Zack's mind raced desperately for logic, explanations. He tried again to shut down the console. Still nothing. "Stop!" Zack shouted desperately at the TV, panicking. "No," the figure whispered calmly. "We've only just begun." Suddenly, Zack's own image distorted violently, flesh peeling away grotesquely, revealing a monstrous skeletal form underneath. The room shook violently, candles extinguishing instantly. Zack screamed aloud, stumbling backward. In his dark apartment, he heard footsteps, heavy, slow, approaching steadily. He spun around wildly, heart pounding. The sound ceased abruptly, replaced by chilling silence. Terrified, he grabbed his phone, hands trembling uncontrollably. But as he dialed emergency services, the screen flashed brightly, displaying a single message. "No signal. You're alone now." Terrified, Zack rushed toward his apartment door, yanking desperately. Locked. Somehow sealed tight. Behind him, the TV flickered, static buzzing loudly. His horrific skeletal image stood now, inches from the screen, grinning wickedly. "You invited me, Zack. You gave me power." "What do you want?" Zack cried desperately. "Freedom," the creature hissed. "You'll take my place here." The controller vibrated again violently, glowing oddly. Compelled by some dark force, Zack moved forward, gripping the device against his will. The world around him blurred horribly. Suddenly, his vision shifted perspective, seeing now through digital eyes, gazing outward into his own apartment. Panic surged. Zack realized with unspeakable horror. He was inside the game, trapped. His apartment on screen, now his prison. Outside, in Zack's real-world living room, stood the figure, the skeletal avatar, flesh reforming smoothly into Zack's original appearance. It smiled maliciously, flexing fingers experimentally. "I've waited so long," it whispered softly. "Finally, freedom." Zack screamed within the game, pounding desperately at virtual barriers, unable to escape the confines of the horrific hospital beneath Las Venturas. On screen, text flashed mockingly. "Game saved. Auto save activated." Days later, Zack's friends visited his apartment, concerned he hadn't shown up at work. They found him, rather, something resembling Zack, happily playing GTA 6, smiling unnaturally. "Zack?" his friend Marcus asked cautiously, sensing something off. "Yes," the imposter replied pleasantly, voice oddly flat. "I've never been better." As Marcus left uneasily, the creature glanced back at the television briefly. Zack's panicked face flashed desperately on screen, silently pleading for help from within the digital abyss. No one noticed. Weeks passed. Zack's life resumed outward normalcy, though his behavior increasingly odd, emotionless. friends distanced themselves, confused. Meanwhile, within the console, Zack suffered endlessly, exploring infinitely looping corridors and torturous virtual realities, each worse than the last. Despair consumed him, though hope remained faintly alive. If only someone could discover the truth hidden deep inside GTA 6, perhaps he could escape. One night in another city far away, a young woman eagerly began installing GTA 6, excited by rumors of hyper-realistic gameplay. But before the screen fully loaded, a brief message appeared. "Help me. My name is Zack Thompson." She paused, unsettled. The message vanished quickly, replaced by the beautiful graphics of Los Venturas. Outside, the sun set quietly, unaware that somewhere deep within lines of digital code, Zack screamed endlessly into the void, still trapped, forever part of the hidden horrors of GTA 6, forever imprisoned, forever in-game. I hope you've already drifted off into a peaceful sleep. If not, I truly hope the upcoming stories on my channel will help you get there. If you enjoyed this one, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'd be so happy if you liked and shared this video with your friends. It means a lot and gives me the encouragement to keep creating more stories like this.